Yeah, 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 yeah. Lord Brunson back at you with the back at you, and I am the best reporting on the Eagles. Listen, man, shout out to y'all, man. Them hats are coming. You know what I'm saying? I gotta let y'all know till they get there every day, so you don't have to ask me. This is how to print champs. You know what I'm saying? Provide customer service, and this is how I want to follow suit. You know, one of my favorite and most well trusted, sponsors. I'm just letting y'all know that the hats are coming, man. The hats are sold out for anybody that's still looking to acquire a hat. It's not going to happen this off season, man. So make sure you're paying close attention to the exclusive drops that I'm coming up with and that I'm dropping because they be hot off the press and people snatching them up. So make sure you in tune with the next drop, and you know what I'm saying. You won't miss out. But shout out to everybody that got them. They coming on the way. Yeah, that way. Listen. Howie Roseman's job is on the line in this draft. Howie Roseman's job is on the line in this draft, and you just can't overtalk it. You can't sugarcoat it. It's nothing that you could do to dispute it. The Philadelphia Eagles are, in fact, really, really looking at Terrence Marshall from LSU. They've been in deep conversation with him, to my knowledge. They've been talking with him. This is not the first talk they had with him. And I think that this just is going to coincide with the meat and potatoes that we're going to talk about. How many more times are we going to have to talk with wide receivers? How many more times are we going to have to do this? Aren't you tired of having to need a wide receiver? Aren't you just tired of having to need a wide receiver and a cornerback? The drafting has to change. It's been a big, big reason. I'm surprised we won a Super Bowl with how bad we've drafted. I'm surprised a Super Bowl happened in the middle of that. But I think the Super Bowl happened in the middle of that simply because the Philadelphia Eagles are better at trading than they are drafting. But we're going to talk about how bad we've been for a certain number of positions in the last decade. You know what I'm saying? We're going to talk about it. But before we talk about that, man, my guy Philly 500, a GOAT.
Hey, yo, LB. Philly 500 is my name. Double moonwalking is my game. Now, today, who I have to put on this draft board is a guy that really I didn't think the Eagles could get at 6, let alone 12. But there's a lot of rumors swirling that this player is dropping in the draft. I personally don't believe it. I think my man is going really, really early. I think he's going at 5. And I'm talking about Penei Sewell. But we got to put him on this board because to me, besides Kyle Pitts, I think he's the second most talented player in this draft. And if for some reason he fell to 12, I would run it up. I'd run the card up so quick and draft him. I love the guy. You know what I mean? 6 foot, what? 6'5", 331 pounds, 20 years old. He's 20 years old. He bench pressed 225 pounds 30 times. The guy's a monster. You plug him in at left tackle. You don't worry about the position for 10 to 15 years. So I have to put this guy on the board just in case for some reason he was ever to drop. I don't think it's going to happen. But how can we have a draft board without Penei Sewell? With that said, LB.
Yes, sir, man. Shout out my guy Philly 500, man. The draft board is coming along strong. It's looking really, really good. That submission was just on point 500. You already know the vibes, man. My brother from another man. Love it, man. We gonna do this every time we gotta do this. Every time there's a draft, listen, understand me and 500 gonna make it happen. Listen, man. In the last 20 years, the Philadelphia Eagles have spent the fourth most draft capital on the wide receiver position. In the last 10 years, in the last decade, the Philadelphia Eagles have spent the fourth most draft capital on the wide receiver position. The other 3 teams that have spent more than us are Jacksonville, Cincinnati, and the Rams. And only one of them had like a really good wide receiver core. It's the Rams. I mean, Cincinnati, if you want to talk about the AJ Green prime, when he was in his prime and stuff like that. But Jacksonville, man, what wide receivers were those dudes out there getting? I don't even remember a good wide receiver for Jacksonville that they drafted. Just like it's hard to talk about a good wide receiver that the Philadelphia Eagles drafted. I think in the last 10 years, the best wide receiver has been Nelson Aguilar. And there's no shot to Nelson Aguilar at all. Nelson Aguilar is a good football player. Teams can utilize Nelson Aguilar. You know what I'm saying? As his new contract tells you that. But we've had more drafts where we shot at wide receivers and just simply missed. You missed with J.J. Arcega-Whiteside. You missed with Josh Huff. And Nelson Aguilar, I don't count as a miss. A lot of these other guys are just simple misses. Jalen Reagor, you don't know what you're going to get in him yet. It's just been all over the place, man, in terms of drafting, period. But to be that high on the list in the last decade in one position like that, to be top 4, is just disgusting. It means that we are not properly evaluating these guys. We reaching, and it makes me really, really worried about this 12th pick. Let's talk about some other positions, though. So we were 15.6% of our draft capital in the last 10 years, has went to the wide receiver position. Next after that was the tackle position at 11.4%. You know what I'm saying? And the percentages might seem small for a big time span like 10 years, but it's going by every position. You see what I'm saying? It's going by every position. And in 10 years, you're going to need a little bit of every position. You know what I mean? So in second place, 11.4 for tackle. And the third place, 11.3 is real interesting for me in cornerback. So in the last 10 years, your top 3 positions that you spent draft capital on, one is wide receiver and one is cornerback. Until this day, we still need it. We still need it till this day. Now, when they talk about spending draft capital, are they talking about picks that were given up to acquire guys in trades? Because we didn't trade for Darius Slay. Darius Slay was a free agent. When you talk about draft capital, what are you talking about? You know what I'm saying? You got to be talking about picks given up or just draft picks straight out grabbing guys out of the draft. You got to be talking about it in that sense too. But I think it's just disgusting to be in a position like this and you still need a cornerback and you still need a wide receiver. You know what I'm saying? It's safe to say you could be good at tackle, but you missed there too. Had you not got the project player that played rugby, you know what I'm saying? Have you not even reached on Jordan Mailata? I think it was a reach, but it paid off. Have you not reached on Jordan Mailata, you know what I'm saying? You would be really, really looking bad with Andre Dillard looking as bad as he do. So it's been a lot of reaching. It's been just bad leadership, and you could kind of tell it's a pattern here. You could kind of tell it's coming from one guy who just wants a lot of control and who likes guys for personal reasons and not looking at just physical attributes of these players and not looking at how these guys have performed in big moments. Listen, man, I hope Jalen Reagor succeeds, but give me Jalen Reagor's college moment. Give me the moment that Jalen Reagor put in some work in college that made you think you should pick him with that 21st pick over Justin Jefferson. Because Justin Jefferson was balling in the national championship. Like, let's make this process simple now. Let's talk about these guys' moments. Let's talk about their moments. You know what I'm saying? What are Terrence Marshall's moments? Let's talk about the moments. What are Jalen Waddle's moments? And the work that they put in on big stages. What are the moments, bro? Because every week in the NFL is a big stage week. It is, because win, lose, or draw, there's going to be a press conference. They're going to be talking to Jalen Hurts, wanting to know what happened. They're going to be talking to Nick Sirianni. This is the big leagues now. Every week in the NFL is a big stage. Start looking at the moments that some of these guys have and stop just reaching. What moments did John Hightower have? Seriously, and I like them dudes. What moments did Quez Watkins have? All we looking at is skill set and reaching. Look at the skill set combined with the moments. How have they elevated their team? I would never understand why you don't pick Justin Jefferson there. I'll never understand it, because Justin Jefferson got moments. You know what I'm saying? And that's all I'm saying, man. In the last decade, to spend this much draft capital on a wide receiver position and a cornerback position and still need them in 2021's draft is just ridiculous to me, man. But let me know what y'all think in the comments, man.